Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dicebreaker podcast live recording here in front of our live studio audience. We're joined by a very special guest today, Tony Vasinda from Plus One EXP. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
Yeah, we're having a great time. It's incredibly muggy here in Brighton, UK, which is actually where all three of us are, which is not a common occurrence, but it's three people in Brighton and then one person in Philadelphia. So it's
it's also muggy here.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So
wow.
we've got some kind of like spiritual bond going on.
Yeah, it's the Brighton of Northeast.
That's what they say. That's what they say about Philly. Oh my goodness. If this is your first time watching, this is the Dicebreaker podcast where myself and all the other members of the Dicebreaker team will pop up in different weeks. We're not always here every week, but every now and again we'll pop up as different amalgamations of the team to talk about the kind of things that we've been playing this week, as well as all the other bits that we've been up to. We're going to talk about some of the best and most interesting news articles that we've had on the website. Pardon me. We've got a weekly segment where we have a fun little mini game that we do every week. And Tony, we've not told you about what the segment is yet because I thought that'd be quite funny. But we're going to be crowdsourcing your next RPG character, which we're going to be filling in a quest character sheet via the live chat. If you've not heard the news, by the way, if you're listening to this in audio form, we are now recording this podcast live at 2 p.m. UK time every Friday here on the Dicebreaker YouTube channel. So come and join us next time we do it.
Live for studio audience.
Audience. Body audience.
Hey.
And then last but not least, we'll be answering some questions from the live chat and also from Alex Meehan.
What's going on? Oh my goodness.
Every time I throw to you to do the email thing, you don't do it. I don't know what's happened.
I was like, wait, hang on.
So panicked.
We'll also be answering questions from...
Email!
There we go. I can't believe we're putting you in charge of the soundboard.
Look, the soundboard is an emotionally charged thing. It's not something I think about. This is instinctual. But what number episode is this, Will?
This is episode number 61. Before we like to read out the bingo call each week for whatever that number is. But before we do that, we've introduced Tony, but I should probably introduce the other two members of the team who are joining us. Alex Meehan, hello, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm in the pea soup of Brighton, where we've just had our whole summer. Lasted approximately 5 days.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. So
it was fun. It's fun
you
while it
better be
lasted.
grateful, you cretins.
And then last but not least, we've got Liv Kennedy. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing all right. Thank you, Wheels. Yeah, no, I also enjoyed the summer. I got a tan.
Yes.
Like, well, more of a tan, but like, yeah, and in Brighton, we're always near the beach.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
So it's fine. We're used to being surrounded by water, which means that when it rains, everything's a-okay. But as you said, it is episode 61. So let's find out what the bingo call is for 61. I'll remind everyone.
You can't be quick on this.
I'll remind everyone that last week it was episode 60, Grandma's Getting Frisky, which apparently is the official bingo call. Well, I feel we've got like a slightly thematically similar one here. It's episode 61, Baker's Bun.
Oh.
Just add an S at the end of that and we're all good. Oh my goodness. All right. Well then, let's kick this podcast off with our lovely special guest, Tony Vasinda from Plus One EXP. What have you been playing this week?
I have been playing so I only have played games on stream this week. So I played Spencer Campbell's Nova, which launches next week. And so it is a tabletop RPG that uses the Lumen system, and which is it's basically meant to emulate like looter shooter vibes for tabletop role-playing games. But in that game, the sun has exploded and you're playing people in these giant solar-powered mech suits called Sparks. I played a Scorch, which has some phenomenal art that just dropped. So I had a blast. We went on a mission and we discovered a lunar cult that was using a chunk of the moon to try to reverse gravity or some such weird thing.
Whoa. I love moon cults.
That sounds like the plot to a Gerard Butler film.
Yeah.
Gerard Butler film.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
I
can see
felt a
that.
lot like Gerard Butler while I was playing it. So the other thing I played, also not widely available, is Arc, which is by Exalted Funeral. Just came out. We played it on stream a little over a week ago, but it's certainly worth mentioning. It's super gorgeous. It's an apocalypse slaying RPG. We actually played as bards. We were like, we're gonna be a troop of bards trying to stop the apocalypse. We ended up deciding that bards just meant anybody who uses creative power to influence the world. So like I was a sculptor bard, somebody else was a portrait bard. We play all of our games with the designers. So like I got to play with Mamados, who does that. The art on that game is phenomenal. The whole thing is, but the coolest thing about it mixes real world time with game time. And so you pick a set period. Like we were playing for 3 hours. We were playing a 3-hour game, and there's this doom clock that's clicking down towards the apocalypse. And if you don't stop things before it gets to 0, you lose. And it could get to 0 when the apocalypse happens. You don't lose, right? But the apocalypse happens when it gets to 0, which if you aren't dealing with the omens in the game, it can potentially click forward even faster. And we didn't know what they were, because we were basically college students who had magical powers. We went to it, and it was about the commoditization of art as the apocalypse, is how we played it. And so you can play it in any setting, any genre. I had an absolute blast. But like if you want to regain health and stuff, you take a 5-minute break and 9 hours passes in the game.
Oh my
Like
God.
that's how you recover. Like so you stop.
Oh,
Like
wow.
the timer clicks forward, but you stop playing for 5 minutes. If you want to, like I had a spell that let me move super fast. In order for me to recharge it, I had to sit perfectly still, no talking, no doing anything for a minute, which means not contributing to the table. But the game is also the book is just gorgeous. Mamados did the entire thing as far as art, layout, and design. But yeah, it was an absolute blast. And then I went to an amusement park.
Yeah. Which
Whoa.
similar vibes, right? It's just,
Right.
It feels like the apocalypse is nigh whenever
Felt
I
like
go to
the
an amusement
apocalypse.
park. Yeah. It's funny you
yes.
should mention that actually, because we are actually planning to play with Mamatas as well. We've got a Let's Play coming up, which is very exciting. And that is about as much as I know about the game. I've tried to go in a little bit blind on this one because I'm actually really excited about it. And like you say, the art in Mamatas games is always fantastic. I'm trying to remember the name of it. You'll probably know it for me, Tony. The sort of like necromantic journaling game that Mamatos put out before this.
Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I do know which one you're talking about.
And what's wild is like that game was entirely designed, like the layout was entirely designed in Microsoft PowerPoint, like which I mean goes to show like how much you can do with even the minimum of tools, right? Which, as we're currently in an era where people are realizing how horrible Adobe is, we're starting to get less
Wheels
people
there.
using the official programs,
Wheels, are you secretly a shill for Microsoft?
Well, I mean, like, what's the Google variant? I've never used it, but Google Presentation or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Or slides or something.
Google
like that.
Slides,
Slides.
yes, there you go.
Slides,
Yeah,
yeah.
so use Google Slides. Like, it's free. Go ahead. Google is also a mega corporation, so it's not really much of a combo. But yeah, is there anything else that you've been playing this week, Tony?
No, I've been reading games for the next games.
Reading also counts as playing in this house. So if there's anything interesting that you've been looking at, then do let us know.
So I just got this James D'Amatos, who runs One Shot Network, just had a new book come out called The Ultimate RPG World Building Game Master's Guide. It's part of a series of books. James also did the Ultimate Micro RPG Collection, which is phenomenal. It's of him and a bunch of other creators. Did a bunch of 2-page RPGs. So if you have people who have never gotten into RPGs, if you've never gotten into RPGs, you can get 40 RPGs in a book. But I've been reading through, I just got it yesterday, the Ultimate RPG World Building Guide, and it's great. It's great like all the rest of the ones in the series. I'm super excited about it. And then other than that, it's just been design. Like I've got a like my game, we just finished up the SRD, or the system reference document for, so that other people can start hacking one of my first games called Beards and Beyond. And then we've got I've got a Brave Little Toaster. Is that like a thing for y'all? Is Brave Little Toaster a
Whoa!
thing?
It is.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that response because I have no idea what the Brave Little Toaster is.
Oh my gosh.
It's a piece of nightmare fuel for children that was released in the 80s, the late 80s, but it really was kind of like, I don't know that anybody watched it in theaters. It was it's
Home
from
video.
like everybody watched it on home video, but when you were sick or on a rainy day, which was even worse, like this movie would just randomly come on, and it is about a group of appliances at a cabin that get abandoned by their owners. Not so much abandoned, like they live in the city. They used to come out to the cabin. The child, who is creepily called the master the entire time, is like the beloved of all these things. So there's a toaster, there's a radio, there's a lamp, and there's a vacuum cleaner, who are your four like kind of main characters. And so the Brave Little Toaster kind of inspires them all to say, look, like the master hasn't been here. We're going to go to the city to find them.
Every time you say the master, I'm imagining Joaquin Phoenix becoming a
It is
Scientologist.
like, and there are some real creepo scenes when they talk about the master and how much they love him. There's also an air conditioning in the first scene that overloads itself. Like there's all these moments that like they're around a number of times. There's all these really dark moments, and the entire thing is like drawn in a dark way. And so then the appliances are like asleep when people are around, but then they can wake up and move around when they're not, and they talk to each other. They go on these adventures, which might sound like the plot of Toy Story.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of baffling me that this came before Toy Story. Like, why wouldn't the automatic like thought be, oh yes, let's make the toys come alive, not the toaster?
Right. So it is a children's book. The original, you can only get, it's like $300 to get an original copy of the original. There's a follow-up called Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars, which did also get made into a movie and is bonkers. That you can get for like $8. But here's the thing: two of the main people on Brave Little Toaster ended up going to work for a studio finding a studio called Pixar later on. So it is a direct route for Toy Story, and has a lot of the same. Like they talk about Andy, but if you just replace the term Andy with the master, like it is a very similar narrative arc. And there's a scene at a repair shop where things are getting like pulled apart, which is very like Sid, right? Like there's all these things. Anyways, I
will point out that if you have the word Andy and you like mix around the letters, it does spell out the master, is what I know.
So,
hold on a second.
But we're going to be putting out a Brave Little Toaster inspired RPG. It's a simple 2d6 roll under hack. So kind of like some Traveler vibes, not very PBTA. And that's going to come out through Exalted Funeral next month. So that's why I have to get it done. But I'm in the middle of writing all that right now. So it's kind of related in some ways to like Nate Treem's NOSR and to Sledgehammer and Brighthammer, a couple like little itch games that came out a little while ago. I took some inspiration from originally, but it's involved and morphed into its own weird little thing. And yeah, you get to play as appliances, going on weird adventures. The GM is 100% just called the master, because why not? It's already there for me to just pull from. And the great thing about Brave Little Toaster is you've got very grounded, you've got to get to the city from your cabin things. But also then in like this, there's a second movie that has nothing to do with the books where they fight against animal cruelty and animal testing. It's and animals become more of a part of the reality. And then in the third one, they do go to Mars. Like they do go to Mars and they work with this super old ancient computer, and the computer's like nobody's been to Mars. How can we get there? And he's like, well, no one's ever asked me how to do it. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And then they put a fan on top of a laundry basket.
I was going to say, wasn't it a basket they just floated up with? Yeah.
They just active hyperspace.
Well, look, they don't need oxygen. They're fine.
So, come on, NASA.
That is covered.
Going in
for oxygen is covered.
It's covered.
Because the master's child has been kidnapped and taken to Mars. I won't spoil any of it for you.
Everybody please don't. No,
Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. Wills, you've got 3 great movies in front of you, or at least 1 piece of nightmare fuel and 2 follow-up movies.
Can't confirm. Yeah.
And so.
I really hope my toaster isn't sentient, because the things I've done to that, ethically, I could ever recover.
No, it's still on your counter, calling you the master and just loving you anyway.
There is
Killing me softly.
I feel like there's a lot of like children's books where nobody ever looked at the sequel because the sequel is like 9 times out of 10 even weirder. I recently read a Twitter thread about, has anyone read the sequel to 101 Dalmatians?
Like watched the film?
Yeah, I've watched 102 Dalmatians.
As in the original book that the films are based on. The sequel is a book in which all the humans on Earth, like, yes, Twilight barking. Thank you, Aiden Fox, in the chat. All the humans on Earth like fall into this weird sleep because aliens are invading. But the aliens that invade are like Martian dogs. So they are like, oh, okay, the dogs are obviously the ones in charge. But because all the humans are asleep, the dogs then have to start running the Earth. So, like, the Prime Minister's dog becomes the Prime Minister and stuff like that. So, like, there's like a cabinet of dogs trying to figure out what to do about the alien invasion. It is bonkers. Like, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
I think this means that we're all going to have to get dogs just in case this happens, you know, in real life, so that they can run the channel in our absence.
God forbid Toto was the head of video for Dicebreaker. Can you imagine?
He would be sordid for sure.
That also makes it feel like there's some sort of weird back end into write a children's book, and then if it's successful enough, you can just write your weird sci-fi love story.
Yeah, because people will just be like, "Oh, yeah,
that.
sure,
like,
yeah, a cheap easy
like
sequel, no worries."
Like, yeah, we can just slap 102 Dalmatians on this, and you can just go to town, write whatever you want. People are gonna buy it.
That was probably the book they wanted to write initially, and then they weren't given the green light. But when it was a sequel, it was a totally different story. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, everyone's watched Watership Down.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's the source of many childhood nightmares. So already a terrifying film. They made another film called Plague Dogs. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it.
I've heard of Plague Dogs.
Right.
Isn't it horrible?
It's traumatic.
Yeah.
It's about these dogs that are like experimented on in labs, and they're like given these horrible diseases, and they escape. And I'm pretty sure the last scene of the film, spoiler alert for Plague Dogs, is they're like floating down a river on a raft or something. And one of them's like, "Oh, what are we going to do, Fred?" And the other one's like, "Oh, I don't know." And then they just float off, and that's just the end of the film. Like,
it's the waterfall scene, but it's finally one where they don't make it out alive.
The assumption here is that they die. Like,
no,
children accept death. It's like Nishka. It's like
I do feel like, yeah, like in the 70s and 80s, we were writing children's books and making children's novels that were only designed to basically be like, life is futile, everything is dark, your pet is going to die. Like, there's literally a movie called All Dogs Go to Heaven that came out of that. You know, like, and so, and it's equally like Oliver, like all these like animated classics that, like, I think a lot of us think back and like, oh, like what a cute movie. They're like, you watch and you're like, no, this is pure nightmare fuel. Like,
there's a genuine phenomenon in like cinema, especially in like Hollywood stuff, where in a children's film, a character is like 90 times more likely to die than they are in a one that's made for adults. Because adults, like people who go and watch big blockbusters, can't accept character death. Whereas like in children's movies, they're like, we have to teach children about death. So all the characters are dying all the time.
So Wheels, I would ask you, what purpose does the giant singing alligator have in All Dogs Go to Heaven? What does that teach the children?
I don't remember that.
Well, me and you clearly have the answer, so please regale us.
People don't remember it. Yeah, it just happens in the middle of the film. The main character just falls into the sewers or something. And this is in the middle of a film that tackles some pretty serious topics, like death, the afterlife, like religion, belief. And then in the middle, there's just a bit when he's in a sewer, and there's a really big alligator down there, and it really likes the dog in an implied way.
Oh,
is it in love with the dog?
if we're thinking about the main character of that going in a Dante's Inferno style journey, that really is purgatory. Like that is what we're experiencing. Is the
and they sing a song called "Let's Make Music Together."
Right.
Yeah.
Meehan, this is probably one of the second times that you've brought up something that I've buried deep in my psyche this week, including.
Oh yeah, Belly's gonna get.
Belly's gonna get you.
Oh, Belly's gonna get you. Yeah, I remember Belly's. That will be lost on you, I'm assuming, Tony.
Yes.
Belly's gonna get you. This was like a UK anti-obesity advert where like a man is chased.
It was a Reebok advert.
Was it a Reebok advert?
Yeah, I thought it was to do with like you should eat something. I thought it was like a child obesity thing because we had that
Reebok.
whole thing. Okay, there's a Reebok advert in which a man is chased by a disembodied fleshy stomach, like across rooftops.
Now I'm googling Belly gonna get
you
to watch later.
Tony, please. I'm
do it.
Be in a safe space.
Quick! Before we talk about any more
around.
of this, Meehan, what have you been playing this week?
Okay. I have been playing. Oh, I'm gonna stop laughing so much now. I've been playing. So I played some Magic Arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Last week with Chase.
Mm-hmm.
He's like my babysitter.
He kind of is.
Whenever I play Magic the Gathering,
you have to have a legal guardian with you.
Yes, I don't know what I'm doing. So I played the Friday Night Magic, and it was really weird. It was you could only play one card at a time. You didn't have any mana. It was just play one card, and the decks are just predetermined for you. I wasn't 100% sure if they had a selection of decks, and then you just get one. But I definitely didn't see a lot of the cards that I had, and. It was I like ones like that because it means I don't have to build a deck, which I hate doing, and I don't know how to. And it also means I can see a lot of the cards that I don't have. Although I've already sort of told this story to Wills and Liv, but for the audience.
God, behind the curtain, man.
And for Tony.
And for Tony, yeah. The very first match I played, I had this card that -1/1 to all creatures on the board, and the
yes, I do remember this story.
The artwork is great for it as well. I'm very into it. But I played this card, and at the time my opponent had like a frog. It was just a frog. So I'm like. As far as I could tell, its main purpose was frog. So
press F to frog.
Yeah,
a noble purpose.
And of course, as soon as I played this card, the frog died because it was just 1/1, and I was like, "Oh, that was really great." And my opponent then, maybe I'm thinking on their next turn, played this card that can resurrect cards from your graveyard. They had multiple creatures in there. They chose the frog. And of course, brought the frog out. Frog instantly died. I'm like, well, I don't know why you did that. And they forfeit straight up.
They quit at full health.
They had full health. Yeah.
They realised they'd made.
They really liked that frog, man. What did you do to them?
Yeah, which brings up the question: do all frogs go to heaven?
Well,
you would presume so.
It rhymes, which usually means it's true.
Yeah.
I think that's the universal law, right?
Unfortunately for cats.
There's a genuine phenomenon where people are like 10% more likely to believe something if it rhymes.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's a gap in the creative market there, Tony, that I feel like you feel. There's a long-awaited sequel to All Dogs Go to Heaven. All Frogs Go to Heaven.
That could be an RPG.
Well, there is an All Dogs Go to Heaven too.
Oh, of course there is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, a prequel.
Which does deal with the cat question. In all honesty, like the cat, it is implied heavily in the first movie that cats just go to hell. And
how do I not know this exists? This
There's
baffles
also
me.
a Christmas Carol one. Is that two, or is that a separate thing? I think it's a separate thing.
It's a separate thing.
Yeah,
I'm probably at the prime age where I am just older than all of you by a hair that we all know these things for the most part, but that I also got exposed to slightly more of them by being at the age they were designed for when they came out.
Yeah, because like the first time I saw All Dogs Go to Heaven, it was just on the television. And
I saw it in a theater.
Okay,
I'm afraid I was not alive when that
happened. No, I don't know. I was exposed to some weird stuff when I was a little kid. Like I had a VHS of Sonic the Hedgehog, the really awful series, the one that's like Robotnik is wearing like a latex suit. And he has the same sort of energy as that devil in Cow and Chicken.
Yes.
You know, the one who
Excellent.
swing his butt around.
The problem is, like, I wouldn't call myself an expert on the Sonic the Hedgehog TV series, any of them, but it's difficult to compete with a show that has a theme song that slaps as hard as Sonic X, Sonic X, Sonic X, Sonic X.
See, I thought you were gonna sing Sonic Underground.
That's what I was thinking also too.
Yeah,
I was ready for Sonic Underground.
Yeah, Tony, thank you.
Yeah. Here's the thing: that just goes to show that the theme song of Sonic, like, you know, IP has been really, really good as far as general translation to film.
Well, I mean, even Sonic Heroes has one of the best video game openings of all time. Yeah, incredible tune.
I will note on the theme song for Sonic Underground.
Is this like Need for Speed Underground?
No, it's a really. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to offend some Sonic fans here. It's not a very good show.
Oh my god!
But there is this one bit in the opening where the song plays. There's this baby, like a baby hedgehog. Liv knows what you're talking about. At one point, it gets thrown, it blows up. It's like a robot baby.
Oh, it was like a trap.
And I think it's like a bomb or something. And it's so disturbing. It's like, what the hell? It's like really upbeat, like, yeah, this is the kids.
Then a baby explodes.
It is an image that has been cemented in my mind.
I've also just been curating links to all the Nightmare films. Please don't click on any of these now for a number of reasons, but watch them later when you're in a safe space emotionally.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! No. What else I've played?
Board games. Yeah.
I've also played a game called Ukatoa.
Oh yeah, the Critical Role board game, well, Critical Role like themed board game.
Yeah, there have been Critical Role themed board games before, I believe, or at least role playing stuff. But this is the first game from Darrington Press, which is the publisher that's kind of they are publishing games not just based on Critical Role, but it's like formed by people involved in it, also involved in Critical Role, and they're doing a lot of board games based on Critical Role. And this is the first one, and it's kind of based on the second season, which is actually finished today. It was still running when
So I don't watch Critical Role. I know you do, you absolutely dork.
Yeah.
But I'm kidding. I saw a tweet and it was I'm joking. I saw a tweet and it was like the final of season 2 of Critical Role is going to be 7.5 hours long, and I said, "I'm sorry, what?"
Yeah.
I'm ready. Grab the snacks.
Oh my god.
The thing is, I'm quite behind, so I just haven't been able to go on Twitter because inevitably someone is going to say something, and I'm like, well, like
it might be me. I'll be honest.
It might be you, Liv. If it is, our relationship is forever tarnished.
It's off so soon.
Yeah. So Ukatoa is kind of loosely based. There are no main characters from the story in there. It is based on like a kind of antagonist sort of that's in the second season. The artwork is really nice, I have to say. It's very striking. It's got a very interesting style. The Ukatoa miniature is too big.
On its own, it's very nice.
Yeah, on its own, it looks fantastic. Like, the quality of it is really nice. I can imagine you, like, painting it. And
What is it? What is Ukatoa? Is it like an eldritch god thing or something?
Yeah, it's basically like a big fish monster with loads of eyes on it and such.
It's kind of like a fish dragon, right?
Yeah, it has, like, sentience. It's sort of like a god, maybe.
It's a patron, like... it was one of the characters' patrons. Is that spoilers? Now that was pretty early on.
I think we're getting further away from the point of like, what does this thing actually look like? Which is what I was asking.
Yeah. So in the game, it's very interesting. It's like you place tiles to start with. That's just setting the game up, and then you have your own little meeples, which are very light and therefore fall over very often. And you place them on the tiles, and then the aim of the game is to kind of just survive, because players will be moving Ukatoa around the board and killing off the different little meeples. And that's the very basics of it. Then we get on to the real meat of the game, which is... It's like a semi-teamed based game where people are on teams with someone else, sort of. But they're not a team. They're on a team with someone else. Yeah, I can see the look on your face, Wills, and it's very much the kind of feeling that's going on here.
It's an unrequited team.
Yeah, I don't know whether we were just not reading the rulebook properly or whether we were just being easily confused.
There were 4 of us.
So that's either a real indictment of the team that played.
But it took us about 4 times to play the game the way it is intended to play. I would say the rulebook needs to be clearer with very, very important rules that are like confined to sentences within paragraphs.
It breaks the game without them.
Fundamentally, the game does not work without these rules, but they just seem to be quite small pickings compared to like the rest of it. There are loads of diagrams of how to move stuff, which I don't think is really necessary because a straight line is fairly obvious. But then they'll have like very important bits of rules will be sort of feel like they're hidden away, and it took us a while to find them. So by the time we actually played the game properly, it was a lot later, and we were kind of annoyed. I
saw the life drain out of Meehan's eyes.
Yeah, there's only so much hype can keep you going, but yeah, I do want to definitely play it again because I feel like I've not really experienced it properly. I will say from the off, I think the basic premise and concept of it is good. I really do not understand why they put the team thing in there. I don't think it's necessary because I think it just overcomplicates something that could have been quite simple and nice and easy and quick to play. I genuinely do not understand why they put the teams thing in there. I think it just makes it really complicated and unnecessary. And maybe some people really like it. I wasn't hugely into it.
I think maybe it's worth mentioning as well that there are 2 modes of play, like the simple play and then the advanced play, which we didn't get into. But I think maybe the teams kind of go a bit better in the advanced play. But
yeah, there's like a sort of this social deduction element in the advanced play where you've got to maybe figure out whose team you're on. I don't 100% know.
It sounds like a crapper version of because you said Survive, like Survive, that board game where you're on an island which is like sinking and there's like sharks and stuff like that. Have you seen this? It's like a hex based little island. You've got loads of little meeples in your color, but on their feet is the amount of points that they're worth. So you know where all your meeples are and which of them are worth how many points at the start of the game. But as you move them around and as like the other like people around the board are trying to figure out where your like VIPs are, you're trying to get them on boats to then escape the island to get to the edge of the board, and you score points based on the points on the bottom of their feet. So it's kind of like a thing of remembering where your big hitters are, but not making it obvious which ones you're prioritizing, because otherwise somebody else will be like, a shark comes and eats this boat, and stuff like that. It's got that same vibe of sort of like sliding around this little island and trying not to fall off, essentially.
It looks like there is a little bit of a hidden role. Like you're on two teams with two other people, one on your left, one on your right, and you don't know exactly what everyone's going for, like you were saying, Wheels, and you're trying to make sure that one of the teams you're on, so your color needs to survive, and then hopefully at some point one of the players next to you has done the same thing well enough that you're the only two people left, and then you win. I will say the number one thing that turned me off about it, which I don't like to punch down, but is just that the Ukatoa meeple is gorgeous, and then the people meeples are like have a very different look to them. They're not anywhere near as detailed. They have a very different look, and that kind of ruined the thematic flavor of the game for me. And I don't know why. But it still looks like a lot of fun. But yes, maybe overly complex for a 10-page.
Exactly. The rulebook is very small, but it seems to be attempting to teach you a lot, and it just kind of feels like it doesn't fit with what this game really should be. I just
in actuality, it was just like really simple to play. Really.
The things
I just read through the core rules, not the advanced ones, but the core rules while we were talking.
I don't know, Tony, if you saw there's a very specific paragraph which is like, whenever you move Ukatoa, the tile must be removed. We did not see that initially, so the game did not work. And then we saw that, and it's literally in a single paragraph in the rulebook, and I just feel like that should be a lot more obvious.
Put it in its own box, like with big exclamation marks and stuff like that.
I will say.
Sorry, carry on, Tony.
And also like the readability of it is actually like the background of the rule book is not it's gorgeous, but like doesn't help readability. Some of the font choices could have helped.
Absolutely.
Information architecture is not excellent, right? So it gives you this strong object at the very beginning, like what actually very well written object of the game space, like detailed turn order. That's where things start to get complicated and don't necessarily make as much sense. Like, and here's what you do on your turn. And then, so like knowing what to do, I can 100% understand like why that was hard. And then, like the win conditions, I think are very clear also too. But yeah, the diagrams I think could be helpful, but they would actually be way more helpful if they were pictures and not drawings.
And we kind of wished there was a diagram of how to set the game up. Because it describes how to do it, like how to place the tiles.
If there's going to be any diagrams in your game, that should be the first one. Because set up diagrams are super important.
We had to end up like Googling it, didn't we? And then that was how we found out.
So I just feel like this might be a consequence of it being the publisher's first game, and it's just rocky. There are some really good ideas in there. I think the quality of the artwork is very good. I think it looks very striking. I love the box. I agree with Tony that the little meeples feel like very light and don't really fit with the rest of it. I'm probably going to play it a decent amount more, just so I'm actually playing the game properly and try this advanced mode. But for now,
it's a shame, but because I know that I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who buy this because of Critical Role and like with these sort of like big licensed games, unfortunately a lot of them are not great. Like there's a bit of a sort of a baggage that the games have when they're sort of made with a license of like, is this a cheap cash in or was like a lot of effort put into this kind of thing.
It definitely doesn't come across as a cheap cash in. Work has been put into this. It's just confused and it's just messy. Like,
it looks like a very well produced first designer's game, which it is, and I think people need to take it in that mindset when they're looking at it. I think actually what would solve 90% of the problems is if there was just, and I just Googled it because I want to look afterwards. If they just put out a good how to play video, like a short 5-minute. You can just watch this with your friends, which I think every board game that's coming out today is like you owe it to your consuming audience to do a short video or to hire somebody to do a short video for you. That's how to play this game in 5 to 15 minutes, right? Like,
which is a service that Dicebreaker offers, by the way, of any publishers.
Oh, there we go. Like that was not a plug. I'm happy it was when I'm all about plugging. But also, when I did Google Ukatoa how to play video, I did discover there is an Ukatoa sea shanty video. So I went ahead and curated that link for everybody also.
Yeah.
Too. And so.
Yeah, it was written by, I think Taliesin and
Sam.
No, I think maybe. I know Taliesin was definitely involved, but
yeah. The hard thing is, and I hate to put this on y'all now, the Critical Role team is going to watch this later on because Laura Bailey and I were friends in high school, and so
I love
no contact as adults. But it is really funny because I can drop that at like. There's lots of events where I'll end up talking to teenagers or even my own teenagers who are now very into anime. And they're like, who's the most famous person you know? And I'm like, oh, Laura Bailey. And some people will be like, who's that? But they're like, there's always like 10 kids in the room who are like, what?
Just like star eyes. Yeah.
Tommy Robinson went to school at the end of my road. That's the closest one I've got. Absolutely horrendous tie-in. But we've spent a lot of time, so let's move on. Liv, what have you been playing this week?
Sorry, that was a weird noise. Well, I also played Ukatoa. I made a few of my thoughts known. But
quite my counsel.
I'm so sorry. One more thing I will say about Ukatoa, and then I will move on.
Yep.
Is that accessibility in terms of color was not also like maybe an issue. Like there were a couple of like meeples that were like quite samey colors, and then there was also like the fact that there were arrows that were like barely visible.
But don't get me started on them arrows.
Oh, the arrows. I think a second edition would be fantastic. Yes. Anyway, I was also playing Star Realms with Lolies yesterday, which is a card game that I've never played before, and I am now obsessed. So for anyone who hasn't seen, Star Realms is a kind of sci-fi based card deck building game where you have to take down somebody else's influence, which is basically their health, and use a bunch of different like card color combinations, which allow you to do different things like regain health or like earn trade to buy more things, etc., and scrap certain cards as well, so that you have more available useful cards, which is look, I know what I'm doing. Lodi's really taught me how to
Star Realms is great. It's one of those, like, if you have never played a deck building game before, it's a great intro. Like, it's because you can buy it for like a tenner as well. It's literally just like a little tuck box, but it's like imagine like a sort of Magic the Gathering style 1v1 card game, but through the process of the game, you're building your deck. So it's like it's a really good way to get people who have maybe played trading card games into that sort of genre. I think it's a lot less dull looking than Dominion as well.
There's also a pretty stellar app.
Yes,
the game for like $2.
What you were playing, right, Liv?
Yeah. It's like maybe £3.99, no, £3 or something, to grab, and it's on Steam, and real good. It's fantastic quality. I said it yesterday in the live stream, but the tutorial has a stellar voiceover, just a very kind sounding gentleman.
I'd let that gentleman sell me an ice cream.
I know.
What a nice young man.
Like, oh, thank you.
Wow, you played that card really well, Liv.
Oh my god, thank you so much. No, I'm a puppy dog. Praise me, and I'll be fine. But it was a lot of fun to like properly learn. I did like the tutorials before we started, and then like it was super helpful having like Loli's just kind of teach me the advanced strats as we went, and like have those in mind as we go along. So I look forward, Wheels, to you teaching me and Loli's how to get them advanced strats for Magic.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just to quickly do mine because I've got very little on it, but I did a live stream this week of Wheels versus the World on Magic the Gathering. It did not go well. So for anyone who hasn't watched them before, we do like a sort of you can play. So Lodi's did it with Star Realms, and Liv joined in with that. But you can basically play against us in a digital board game. In this case, it was Magic the Gathering Arena. In the first one I did of those, I was still pretty new, so I didn't do great. The second one, I think I ended up winning like 9-1 or something, and I got so full of myself.
Oh, but you were so smart, yeah.
The hubris was just like hanging over my head, and then immediately crashed into me this week. But yeah, I think I ended up dragging some back. So I think the final score was like 7 world wheels 4 or something. But Magic the Gathering Arena has 4 billion cards, and it is so impossible to know what anyone could ever bring out in a deck at any one moment. It is just like, it's nonsense. Well, I've got a mate who's been getting into it as well, who was just like, someone teach me how to build a deck because there's so many cards and I don't know what to start. But yeah, Arena, it be wild.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Were there any other games that you want to talk about, Liv? Sorry, I was just going to let you carry on.
Oh no, yeah, no. I just was gonna say, as per usual, some D&D.
Per usual
D&D. No,
I did play some Railroad Ink Challenge, which is the new version of Railroad Ink, which for anyone who isn't aware of it, is a roll and write board game, which basically means you roll some dice and then you have to either draw or write things down. In this case, you're making little pathways out of like railroads and roads and like little villages and stuff, and you're basically trying to connect exits from each side. It reminds me of Pastally, which we played on the channel before, but it's very, very cute and very pretty. I find it very zen, and there's a lovely I've got the hiccups, sorry. There's a lovely digital version, which is, I don't know if it's out right now, but I was playing a beta version, which they sent over a code for, the lovely people at Horrible Games. But it is really, really lovely. Like, there's a lot of quite crap digital versions of board games, which I won't name and shame, but like there are some ones that are super jank. We played for like we played Blood Rage, for example, on the stream, and it was falling apart. Like it was not really well made. But the Railroad Ink one, obviously it's quite a simple one because it's just little 2D graphics, but it looks gorgeous. Like it's got nice floaty dice, and whenever you put down your things, it will like turn it into a little illustration and stuff. It's really really nice. I recommend it. It should be pretty cheap as well on Steam. So yeah, that's all I've been playing. If that's all everyone else has been playing, let's roll on in. It took us an hour to talk about that, so let's roll on in to our next segment where, I mean, Alex, Meehan, I'm afraid you're the only person from the editorial team here, so you're going to have to take the bear the brunt of this one.
Take the reins.
Take the reins. What has been going on over on Dicebreaker.com?
Oh, well, Tony...
Wouldn't you like to know?
Well, why didn't you go over and look yourself, Wheels?
You probably aren't aware, but on the podcast we have a running, let's call it a joke. I find it funny. That I fly around in a news chopper to gather the latest and hottest news.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew about it, but I didn't think it was a joke. I just thought it was. You'd flown around earlier today in the Dicebreaker news chopper.
Of course.
Landed back in Brighton. Like we covered that you don't have a car, but I just assumed that was because you had a helicopter.
Why would you have a car and a helicopter?
I
especially in Brighton.
I chopper my way down to Co-op.
Chopper my way downtown.
You have a giant M on the roof for you to land.
For Meehan, yeah. Yeah, so I've been in the chopper, flying into the world of queer gaming. Oh yes, because there is currently a queer games bundle offer that includes over 200 video games and tabletop games that you can get for just $60. We are not getting paid to tell us this. This is a thing we care about. You should care about it too.
I do.
Chase, the lovely Chase, wrote this article. So obviously it's Pride Month, so an apt time for this to come out. But right now on itch.io, which is a platform we find ourselves going to quite often, there is currently a bundle that you can get designed to support 200 independent artists. So essentially, it says it hope to pay indie artists a living wage for at least 1 year, which is a lovely little sentiment.
Yeah.
And I just thought it'd be really good to bring this up, because these kind of bundles are not only like really good value for money, like especially if you want to get into some really interesting solo RPGs, rules light RPGs, as well as video games, I suppose. They're also there to support really good causes, and this one does indeed. They currently have a goal of $5 million.
$5 million.
Yes, thanks, Dr. Evil.
I thought you were on the phone. Okay, yeah.
No, sorry, I accidentally put my thumb up in reflex. I was like, no,
you gotta drop that.
Yeah, drop it down a little bit.
Yes, Dr. Evil, known LGBTQ plus advocate.
Yes.
And Chase has just highlighted several, include Speak the Sky. Oh, Speak the Sky's Twilight Song with me, which is a map making game. There's several games by 10 million HP Planet creator Sandy Pug Games, which is a solo poetry game called Ego and Resistance.
Resistance, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, right.
So yeah, get your butt down there. You can also pay. You don't have to pay $60. You can pay between 10 and 20, which is about £7 to £14 if you don't want to go the full hog. But I just thought it'd be nice to bring that up, and yeah,
it's good.
Send
Go
it
over
out to
there.
the world.
It's also it's utilizing
Tony.
It's utilizing some of the new itch.io crowdfunding stuff. I say new, but it's a thing that is currently being sort of pushed for to try and get us away as a community from things like Kickstarter, whilst also allowing us to do crowdfunding, which is very cool. I say us as just like the tabletop community, because
has anybody produced maybe a video series that has people who have done that type of crowdfunding available on the internet anywhere?
Oh, I don't know. Tony, do you know anyone who's
I do. If you go to +1exp.com/+1exp, we've sat down with a number of people who have used it as a crowdfunding platform, talk about how you can use it to do what we call degreening, which is moving away from Kickstarter, not because Kickstarter is a bad platform, though it's inaccessible to people in 25 countries. It's also a large emotional toll. Wheels, you know this, to run a Kickstarter. Like, it takes a lot of emotional energy.
I can't talk about that.
You have no idea what that's like. And so if anybody has ever run a Kickstarter campaign, they know that it can be emotionally draining. And itch funding is kind of a kinder, gentler, more humane way to do that using the itch platform. But we did a 3-night interview series. We have a best practices document coming out on how to do some of that stuff later on that we'll put up on itch also too. But it's a bunch of different people who collaborated on the document from a community called the Brain Trust, and then some other folks from beyond that also too. So.
Thank God you were here, Tony, because how else would we have answered that question? Which I can't remember. I can't remember who asked the question, but like, thank God you're here. That's the main point. But that's not the only news story we've got this week, Meehan.
Yeah, from heaven we descend into hell.
On a pole with Montero blasting in the background.
Yeah. We're killing Satan. After giving him a nice lap dance, obviously. Just only polite. We're actually going to talk about the newly announced book adaptation of the Pandemic series. So we've been aware of this book series for quite some time. It was announced last year. Aconite Books, which is basically a company that's there to create novel adaptations of a lot of Asmodee, which is the big kind of publishing giants. Many properties, and one of those properties is Pandemic.
Tony, I know you don't like punching down. How do you feel about punching up?
I love punching up.
Yeah, let's do it.
I also don't know that punching at Critical Role in any way, shape, or form is punching down.
No.
But, I tend to try to be as positive as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you can go whatever flow you like, Tony. Wills will obviously take the very hard turn into punching, whereas you know, you can take whatever angle you like.
If you fancy a kick or a
a roundhouse or
somewhere between a hug and a grapple. That's where
a clinch.
So this new novel, which will be the first in a series, with 2 more confirmed coming next year.
Amazing. Very ambitious.
It's called Pandemic, Patient Zero. Now, Tony, if you haven't, do you have access to the link to this story?
I'm gonna put it in the Google Doc.
Sorry, not in the Google Doc, in the
Google Meet. There you are.
You can get my live read through response.
No, I just want to see what you think of that image. Which is the cover of the book. Yeah. What do you think? What's your first thought?
This is the best low production South American south of the southern part of the US, not Latin or South America. Soap opera I've ever seen.
Yeah. If you haven't already gone over to dicebreaker.com, lovely viewers and listeners, I beg you to.
I'll be putting a link in the live chat as well if you're watching this live.
Yes, just to get your reactions, because this really is quite something. This is the genuine book cover that I was sent, so this isn't something I just made.
I thought it was initially, I'll be honest with you. I was like, oh, all right.
Liv, I don't have that kind of skill.
I mean, skill's a strong word. It's
so the cover is a woman on the telephone, and there's a man looking very sad next to her.
He's about half of her size.
And the woman's head just seems to be incredibly large, and her arm just looks like a very small arm and a weird telephone. But enough of that. The plot, if I were to entice you,
which we're all chomping at the bit to know.
Oh yeah. So in this book, a newly recruited, I've got to try and say this word now. Forgive me. Epidemiologist.
Epidemiologist.
Yeah, that's
Tony did it for me. Has to go to South America, so you weren't far off, Tony. To investigate rumors of a newly discovered virus. And presumably there's drama involved.
Oh, there's drama involved.
Maybe a love story.
Well, because clues point to the source of the virus being located in an area controlled by a local warlord, which
that was their words.
This is definitely someone in the northern part of the world's idea of what things would be like in the southern part of the world.
If this were a film, as soon as they hit Latin America, they'll put the sepia filter on.
Just guns everywhere. I do reiterate, the words local warlord is ones that they use, not myself.
I am obsessed with this phone that she's
it's
obviously going to be a science phone.
It's a science phone, Tony.
But I also, as put together as she is, that phone seems equally put together. Like, it seems like a classic Nokia brick that they just janked a long antenna on.
As an image, it seems to be like constructed from multiple stock photos. Like the arm is not hers, I'm pretty sure.
Not I mean, if she was a medical doctor, she would need to turn herself into one of her coworkers because that arm is broken.
The thing is, this is what kind of baffles me, is that Pandemic has artists, it has access to the artists, the game series, and there's some decent art there. It's never been a favorite of mine, but there's some good stuff. I genuinely don't know why they've gone for this abomination.
What?
It's just very. The look on that man's face. I just can't.
He's just done with it, isn't he?
He's so devastated.
The look on his face is someone just showed him the final version of his picture. He is responding to it.
No, he's just watched The Plague Dogs.
Oh god!
No.
What baffles me about this whole thing is that, So Asmodee have like gone into a partnership with people who make novels out of stuff, right? And it's like it's a business tie-in thing. It's like you can buy like Assassin's Creed novels that are basically just the plot of the game but turned into a book, and like your grandma will buy it for you for Christmas because they don't realize what they're doing. But what I don't get is like, obviously, if you read a novel of like Keyforge, for example, was another thing they did, right?
There is a Keyforge novel.
There's a Keyforge novel, and like Keyforge is an original world with its own lore and stuff like that. So like, much like Warhammer, like a novel in that universe to establish story about it might be kind of interesting to players. I don't know how many Pandemic players are seeking like,
especially right now.
Exactly. Now. The extended world of Pandemic.
The Pandemiverse.
Somebody was like, "Hey, we've been looking at the data, and searches for Pandemic have just skyrocketed over the last year and a half. People need this content.
Jump on that keyword.
So here's the really interesting thing about that, Tony, actually, is that somebody at Aconite actually did confirm that they were originally going to announce this book back in spring of 2020. It had been fully written then, and obviously, and in their words, Patient Zero was completely written and about to be announced in early spring 2020, when, well, we all know what happened next. Yes.
I wonder if I do. Part of me wonders if it's like, if that's part of the reason for some of the dissociation and lower quality art. Like if they were like, hey, we can't pump into this what we were going to pump into it.
Yeah.
Like, like we can't, like, this isn't going to have the legs we thought. We already signed the contracts. We already did the work. We've got to see this across the finish line. But like, we only have $100 left. And
John from the marketing team is going to make the cover. So I'm sorry.
That's where we're at. And so, I was not prepared for that this morning. I also didn't know there were Keyforge books. I'm legitimately excited about that.
Yeah, well, like, genuinely, like in the same way that Black Library sort of like enhances the lore of Warhammer and stuff. I think like a Keyforge novel is a good idea. Like it's an interesting thing to do. Same with like, Magic the Gathering or whatever. They've been doing like short stories. Like I think if you've got your own universe and it's like an interesting world that you want to establish, then yeah, sure. Pandemic is like it's got the legacy games which kind of have a story, but they're not story games, like not
really.
Yeah, it's very odd.
It is incredibly odd. I suspect Asmodee just sort of looked at, okay, what are our biggest licenses? Pandemic is up there.
I think there's a Catan one coming as well, isn't there? Or already coming?
Even Catan has potentially a bit more there than Pandemic. I mean, the ones that make sense to me are like Keyforge. There's a Zombicide one coming.
Sure, Arkham Horror.
Again, makes sense.
Kind of
there are already Arkham Horror books. Again, makes sense. The Pandemic one is definitely one that I'm like.
You said that you're not confused by the Catan ones, but I'm thinking like at least Pandemic has like a thing that's happening that needs to be dealt with. Like what's the big
like
catastrophe in a Catan book?
Between like a guy and another guy, and there's a sheep.
You built your road right through my town.
Right. It's like there's these robbers marauding across this island. How will you stop them?
Yeah.
Your soldiers can't fight them for whatever reason.
I'm imagining it if you've ever watched the show Doc Martin, which Tony probably.
No, I'm with.
You've seen it.
So my son, my high school now about to be a senior son, watched the entire series with a friend of his. And so I've seen like an episode and I'm totally familiar with the plot.
Okay.
He has watched every single one of them.
That's of all the cultural exports that we would have had, it baffles me that that's the one that someone went for.
Yeah.
It was during a time where they did not have access to like Netflix or anything for an extended period of time, but they did have access to normal cable, and it was on. And they watched like a marathon of it.
To be fair, if there's ever going to be a reason for you to watch Martin Clude's Doc Martin, it's going to be because there's no other option.
I will clarify. When I say friend, I mean like a much older an adult who we are family friends with, who he would go hang out at their house, who is in like their 60s.
Tony, you're not telling us that there is a group of youngsters in Philadelphia
roaming. Well, first, it's very clear this was in Seattle, which also makes sense.
Yeah, maybe it was
roaming the streets with their Doc Martin streetwear.
I'm wondering if it was one of those things, where you like start something ironically and you're like, let's watch an episode of this, and then you're like, actually, it's getting good.
Yeah. There is a story which I cannot tell for content reasons, because this is a family-friendly podcast. But it involves Doc Martin and an awful tattoo of Hannibal Lecter. So if you want to hear that story, I'm not telling it here. But...
Okay. If you want to hear that story, tough. Moving on.
It's not appropriate. But anyway, so there you go. There's those two big highlights.
It's been a big news week.
Yeah, other great articles you can currently read on Dicebreaker.com include Chase today wrote an article on another charity bundle. This one is supporting trans support packages. You can get 75 games for $20, again on itch.io. So if you want to read more about that. The lovely Matt Jarvis did an interview with Wolfgang Kramer, the designer of games like Six Nimit, Tikal, El Grande. He's probably the designer you've never heard of, but you've probably played a game that he's designed. So you can go and read that. There is also a review from Matt Jarvis of Oath, the newest game from Cole Worley.
Big one. He's been very excited about
that.
It's
a big one. I had to help him edit it because it was even bigger. But do read it because it really does show like a very big passion for the game. I really liked it. Matt really liked it. If you want to know why he liked it, go and read that. And there is also a list of the 10 best science fiction role-playing games written by myself. Currently up on the site. So you can go read that. And then there's loads of other news, reviews, features. Go do it.
There's loads of great games on there, including ones like Those Dark Places, which we played on the channel as well. So like, if you liked that Let's Play, there's some stuff in there that you'll probably really enjoy. But loads of stuff over on Dicebreaker.com every single day. Just multiple articles. Just chase me
and
Matt.
Go there every day.
Knocking it out of the park every single day, baby.
Make it a homepage. Do it.
Home runs on the homepage.
Right on the homepage. But also, I will point out, did you mention this on the stream yesterday, by the way, Liv, about the stream that we're doing next week?
We did mention it, yes.
Yes, yeah. So I'll just in case anyone missed that, for anyone watching next Thursday, which the day... Oh, God, what's the date next Thursday?
Next Thursday is the 10th.
It is the 10th of June. We are planning to, obviously subject to change, but this is the current plan. We're planning to do a charity live stream for ActionAid, who are currently helping out with the horrible stuff that's happening in Gaza right now. Can't really talk about it too much in detail, but if you would like to help us try and raise some money for the people affected by that crisis, please do join us on Thursday at 2 p.m. UK time. That's British summertime that we're currently in because bloody farmers 400 years ago just decided that was a good time zone. And we're going to be playing Monopoly for 3 hours.
We're doing
it. So good.
If you play Monopoly right, that's enough time to get 3 games in.
Oh, well, yeah. And if you play Monopoly wrong, that's enough for almost a game.
Half a game.
Yeah, expect chaos. Expect hilarity. Expect
tears.
Yeah, expect tears, drama.
Expect rewards for your donations.
Yes.
Which we will inevitably regret.
We will degrade ourselves for your amusement.
For a good cause.
Yeah, maybe if you have any suggestions on what kind of rewards and stuff you want to see, let us know on social media.
Please, within reason.
Within reason, yes.
Yeah.
We reserve the right to not do them. But, maybe.
But let's bring a little levity to this here podcast, because we've not had much yet. So every week now that we've switched to this new live format, we are doing a fun little mini game to mix things up a little bit, in which we each sort of like each week try and decide on like a fun little thing that we can try and do with a little bit of help and interaction from the live chat, for example. And this week, seeing as we've got RPG aficionado Tony Vasinda from +1 EXP on the stream, it only makes sense that we do something RPG related. So we thought, Tony, you play a lot of RPGs. You're playing them every week almost.
I do, at least once or twice, yeah.
So you must need a lot of characters to bring out, So we thought we would lighten the load a little bit for you by crowdsourcing your next RPG character using the fantastic character profile character sheets from Quest, the incredibly easy to get into and beginner-friendly RPG, which basically takes the form of like a Mad Libs, which is perfect for the kind of thing that we're about to do. So let me just read out the list that we've got for you here. Hello, my name is blank, with pronouns blank. I am blank years old and stand blank tall. I'm the party's blank, which is the role. When people see me, they first notice my blank, blank, and blank. I wear blank, blank, and move with blank. I'm from blank, where my people are known for blank. I believe in blank, but my blank side can get in my way. I dream of blank, and I carry items. So that's the format for this character.
I have to say, I really love that Kate Bush song, I Dream of Blank.
Do y'all want to? I know the next game I'm playing.
Oh,
if chat wants some inspiration, we can just go. But it doesn't matter. I will do this. I will take this character and as much as I can.
Oh, incredible!
Shoehorn it into the. It's a live stream next Friday night, and I will shoehorn it in there.
Okay, well, that's the question. Do we want to make something that has absolutely no context, which would be funny?
I don't care if we contextualize it. I'm happy to give people a heads up now or afterwards, but I will commit to as much as possible incorporating all this stuff into the next character I play on stream, and I happen to know what that game is already. And so whenever we want to, I can reveal that information.
Okay.
Well, viewers and listeners, you heard Tony. This has stakes now. Get your examples, get your answers in. What should this character be like?
And just a general reminder, if you are listening to this after the fact, we record this podcast live every Friday at 2 p.m. UK time, which means that you can join us for more shenanigans like this if you want to get involved. But I think Rasmus says, rest of chat, what flavor of chaos do we want to inject? I think it would be funnier if we had no idea what the theme of this RPG is, and then finding out, and
the big reveal will be something.
Maybe we'll do some crafting after the fact, a little bit of theory crafting on how we make all that fit. But no, that's fine. Let's do it first, and then we'll figure out how that fits in afterwards.
Okay, so we're gonna sort of skip the first one for now, the name and the pronouns, because I think we'll figure that out at the end. So we're gonna start with this, and we're just gonna be picking our favorite answers from chat. Maybe we'll go in a circle and just we'll each pick one in a turn order. But the first one is very easy. We need to know how old Tony's character is. Bearing in mind, we don't know if this is a fantasy game. There could be 400-year-old elves. There could be Tony could be playing a dog, in which case a 400-year-old dog probably wouldn't exist.
Also, will that dog go to heaven?
I mean, Boadley is immediately going in with 93, which I think is a fun number, because you don't pie.
There is actually a Kate Bush song about pie as well, the specific number. So this is very thematically effective.
Immediately, I'm enraptured by the answer pie from Jaws there. I think that's going to be my selection.
Yeah,
I'll put myself first.
It's even out 420, which obviously...
I know. I'm surprised that we didn't get a 69 in there, honestly. I was expecting it, but good job. Good restraint, everyone.
Good work, everyone. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'll volunteer myself to be the first person to pick. I'm going to go with, you are pi years old.
Excellent.
It's very good.
I'll draw the little symbol.
There's a reality of being pi years old that makes me feel a little immortal. Like,
Yeah.
It's not because I'm a specific age. Like everybody's pi years old at some point in time, and it doesn't last more than a very brief moment. But also, if you try to calculate to the last digit of that number, it takes forever. And so, like, there's a level of immortality in that moment.
Exactly. And also, is it the case that you are forever pi years old? Do you just never age now because you have reached the epitome?
RPG characters do just kind of exist in, they're like the Simpsons. They don't ever age, really. Like, unless you're specifically playing a game where time is a feature. You're always basically whatever age you decided when you first started your campaign.
Until you're like, wait, now I want to be older. So.
It's like The Sims. You just hit go. Right. Okay. Now this one seems innocuous. Tony stands something tall. Just height. Height is the thing that we're going for here. And it might seem like a dull one, but I think there could be some pretty funny funny implications here. Meehan, Liv, or Tony, which one of you would like to go next? If we're going cyclically, I think Liv is next on the layout of the stream.
Oh, sure. Yes, it's different for me, but yeah, I'll do it. Sure. May I offer up quite
is quite tall. Chat have gone for 6'9", which is an obvious one. We did avoid the 420.
Pi inches, great.
72 apples. Jaws is knocking it out of the park.
Really, you really are,
that's so good.
72 apples is very good.
I like how so an imaginary number centimeters has come up on there also, too.
I'm hestant to Rasmus says up.
And stand up tall.
I very much like.
3 hands.
I was waiting for somebody to say hands, and I like hands.
You want hands?
Yeah, because the implication is that your character is a horse, Tony.
Yeah.
Right.
A very small horse.
A very small horse, like one of those little horses that you can get that you can keep in your house.
Yeah.
I will also point out that I don't have a form fillable PDF for this character sheet, so I'm just drawing on it with a mouse.
Okay, so I'll take notes because I'm the only one who needs to actually fully.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm making you a character sheet. It's just gonna be look like it was written by a 4-year-old. That's the only thing.
They send you a full handout with full character design and everything. It's gonna be great. So I'm gonna have to go with Peter Fisher's answer of 3 hands tall.
Perfect. So the next question then, and Meehan, this one's for you to decide.
Hello. Yes.
Is I am the party's blank. This is their role. In traditional D&D, if you will, might be a fighter or a cleric. But we don't know what the game system is, so go wild.
Go buck wild. It doesn't have to be a set job. It can just be. I'm laughing so much already. I don't know if a taco stand was.
I was just going to ask if that
I feel like taco stand came in as part of height,
but it still works. I'm the party's taco stand.
Also from Bob, I am mum.
The
I am a mum.
There's a lot of food-based ones here.
Yeah. Omelette chef.
Are there any favourites immediately presenting themselves, Meehan?
I don't know. Taco stand was really good, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be allowed to have that one because it was for the height. But if you let me have that one,
you're more than welcome to have taco stand. We didn't put any real rules on this. So.
I don't know. I just like the idea that
Tony's just sweating.
I like the idea that Tony's main role is to hold the tacos.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold the tacos. I'm gonna have the tacos. I don't know. I just keep them in my 1-inch tall saddlebags.
I do love scapegoat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 3 hands tall for sure. I don't know that we formally decided I'm a horse, but that is the implication.
Yeah, so you've got to.
Is it a thing that you measure horses in hands? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Really? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can measure them other ways, but that is the traditional way.
It's culturally.
So you keep other people's tacos. You keep them in your little saddlebags.
100%.
Are we going for taco stand then?
I think I have to, yeah.
Okay, I do like, but I don't know if it was supposed to be an answer, but Boab just put it's lunchtime, and I'm the party's it's lunchtime is very funny to
me. Apex Penguin says a portable hole full of tacos. God, I wish I had
so
that.
Powerful.
Okay, right now this one's a triple whammy, and Tony, this is coming around to you now. this is a visual signifier. So when people see me, they first notice my blank, blank, and blank. So these are distinctive features of Tony's character visually. So get your answers in the chat, please. And Tony, just pick out your 3 favorites. You got loads of choice.
I love Angel's question. Does measuring in hands count for centaurs also too?
Only the bottom half. You can
Only
only
the bottom half.
Yeah, you
Bottom
can only
half
measure
is
the
my
bottom
thought.
half in hands.
I didn't even think about centaurs.
Why aren't you always thinking about
Yeah,
centaurs?
that's not like you, Meehan.
That's what you're implying.
When people see me, they first notice my horse legs.
What are fetlocks?
Fetlocks.
Oh, that's
The hair.
the horse hair, right? Yeah.
Okay.
With your fetlocks flowing in the wind. Yeah.
The
My
joint
lucky
of a
horse.
horse's or other quadruped's legs between the cannon bone and the pastern.
There you go.
Oh, so not the hair.
I thought you said pasta then, and I was like, whoa.
Well, I guess we'll go with fetlocks flowing in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I'm gonna put fetlocks on here because again, I am handwriting this with a mouse.
Well, I've got another good one for you, and that's 11 herbs and spices.
Yes, Tony. Oh, you're a legend. I was really hoping you were going to go for 11 herbs and spices.
Oh,
The first
again,
thing you smell as
horse.
my character draws near you is the uncanny. Because now I am a Taco Bell and pizza and in KFC combo.
Did you know
Bag
that?
tacos.
Did you know that the Twitter account for KFC only follows 11 people?
Yeah.
And it's people named Herb and the members of the Spice Girls.
It's very good.
That's awesome.
I mean, I feel like this is a fine opportunity, Tony, for you to get a sponsorship.
Yeah, go ahead and reach out. Anybody in the Yum Corporation in general. I love all 5 of those restaurants. Go ahead and reach out.
And then you've got one left to pick.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones on here. I don't know how I would fit some of them in, so I think we're just going to go with the classic face tattoo of butterflies.
Face
Very
tattoo of
nice.
butterflies.
Love that.
Yeah,
Do you know what? There's 2 short spaces and a long space. I wasted the long space on 11 herbs and spices. Face tattoo of butterflies.
Yeah.
Right.
I do. Yeah, I will give a shout out to potatoes.
Yeah, I did
Good,
enjoy
good.
potatoes.
Uncanny talent for peddling was also good. Also, if you had gotten in a second earlier, the mildly unsettling sheen left on every surface I touched is incredibly good.
They're just trying to write that down, just thinking about it.
It's just taco oil. And so
Next up, and I think this is my choice now, is clothing. There's 2 options. I wear blank and blank. What kind of clothes does this character wear?
If someone says a taco costume, I'm gonna lose my.
Don't give them answers.
Oh, because I was going to say just simply none. I feel
Hot
like that's gonna be...
sauce and regret.
Truth's got a good one in early this time.
Oh, Aiden folks. though. Aiden folks.
Oh man, Aiden's answer is like
I think canonically we do have to do jorts.
if Wheels doesn't pick it, I'll still wear jorts. And if my character doesn't wear jorts, then I'll just be wearing jorts on stream.
Yeah, it is a very strong pick. The jorts.
I do
Also-
like tasteful sombrero as well.
I will say I recently noticed that there's not a lot of good tank tops for plus size men. And so this summer I am launching a brand called Tanks for Tanks.
Yes.
And I will 100% make at least 2 designs in Tanks for Tanks. One will just be straight up branding. The other one will say devastating on it. And that's at least those 2 designs are going to get made.
Tony, you should make one with the taco on it.
Mm.
We'll see.
Just to go with the just to
Go with
Keep
the
it in
vibe.
theme.
I'm
just to
also-
wear it on the stream.
I'm wondering with jorts, if it is a horse character of some variety, is it going to be like, does a horse wear jorts like this or like this? And it's
Yes.
I didn't even think
Way.
about that.
Okay,
Maybe
so
maybe it's a Schrodinger's jorts situation where every time you look, there's a different chance it'll be wearing the jorts a different way.
Okay, I've gone with I liked Truce so much that I've just taken one from it. So The line now is, I wear jorts, regret, and move with. And the next one is going to be a descriptor of, I move with confidence, I move with elegance, whatever it would be. This one is going to be over to you again, Liv.
Oh, fantastic.
So give us a descriptor of how this character moves through the world.
How are you moving?
How's
our friend moving?
Move with me, mum, says Rasmus.
I did like that. Shorts on the back, legs only. I like that as the movement, actually. I move with spaghetti. Grab hands. Oh, Jaws once again smashing it with reckless abandon.
I move with the tides.
Oh, man.
That's upsettingly cool. I
Yeah.
move with 30,000 small beetles.
That's something. There's definitely something there.
That's a science experiment. Can 30,000 small beetles carry
A
a
small
horse
horse.
of approximately 3 hands high?
I would say yes.
What's your favourite, Liv?
Okay. See, once again, Jaws giving me the big choice here between reckless abandon and the tides.
I do love the tides.
The tides is very good.
It's so abstract.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch Tony try and work it into the lore.
I'll do it.
You've sold me. You've sold me on the tides. The
Yes.
tides it is.
It sounds like something you'd have on like a motivational
Yeah.
like board in your house, like something you'd
Move
hang
like
up
the
in your.
Move with the tides.
Yeah, I move with the tides.
I'm
Yeah.
just enjoying the image of like the characters are sort of like stood there, maybe like getting some exposition said to them, and Tony is just like gently rocking back and forth.
What? So just obviously we'll get to it, but like I'm just thinking if your character is fundamentally tied to a specific ocean, does that mean that sometimes it moves about very violently because that ocean is stormy?
Storms are brewing. Storms are brewing.
The next question to answer is, I'm from, and this is Tony's character's hometown or planet or country or whatever you like. I think what was the one? Because we did this before. We did a crowdsourcing character. And I played as a quest character in one of our let's plays. And I think someone just said like Bognor Regis, which really got me. Shetland, which is a very good pun from Angel Beat.
That is a
Shetland
good
pony. This
pun.
one's for you, by the way, Ian.
Yeah, I believe I am. I believe Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke-on-Trent.
I swear we've had Stoke-on-Trent before.
Oh, surely. The wrong end of Wikipedia.
Oh, I really want someone to say Scunthorpe.
I'm from the future.
Ooh.
I know. Yeah, it's so mysterious. I quite like that.
The Gaping Abyss from Nathaniel Levy as well. This is the thing, you can get real creative with these little blanks.
Sorry, 87 D-Trip says behind you. Meehan.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. People are trying to now fish by saying Scunthorpe, but I'm not going to take it because that was my thing.
Richard
DuckTales is an excellent one.
DuckTales. Isn't it it's Duckburg?
Does that mean I'm from Duckburg?
Yeah,
or is
Duckburg.
that
Yeah, it would be Duckburg.
No,
yeah.
you're canonically from the show DuckTales.
DuckTales. I'm just from the lot where it's shot.
Yeah, you were a cancelled character that never made it into DuckTales because you weren't a duck. So
yeah, that was the problem. What's your fave then, Meehan?
I don't know. That's a good one. I do like the dark crevice of the broom cupboard.
Did y'all ever see the interview with Larry King? And why can't I think of his name right now? From Community. I can't think about it. But Larry's like, "What's your?" He's on DuckTales also too, which is why I thought.
No,
about
I know
it.
exactly what you're talking
And
about.
for whatever reason, is it Daniel Pudi? Is that right?
I can't remember the actor's name.
Oh yeah, who plays?
Anyways, he's like, "What's one of your favorite, like, just kind of like, hidden pleasures?" And he's like, "I know socks. I like good socks." And Larry's like, "What? Socks? That's not a thing." He's like, "I mean, like private planes, like 5-star restaurant." They just looks at him. He's like, "I'm on DuckTales, Larry." Soccer, my favorite
Danny
thing.
Pugh is great. He plays Abed, right?
Yeah.
Abed,
Or
Yeah.
Abed,
He plays
as
Abed,
Thingy calls him.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with behind you.
Behind you is very good. I do really like behind you.
Yeah, I do. Because it's very ambiguous. It's like, oh, it could be anywhere behind you.
You know how I got there? I moved like the time.
Okay, next up, we're going to describe the location of behind you, where my people are known for, and then a descriptor. What are the people from behind you known for? The unwavering trust.
Not a lot. That's the real
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to hear.
You'll never know. Mm-hmm.
This one is for Tony to decide.
Tacos. Not being there.
Hating spicy food. Jaws.
Inappropriate touching. Cotton candy. Subtlety.
Subtlety's pretty good, to be honest.
I feel like subtlety matches the moves like the tides and from behind you. Ordained weapons from pure shadow.
Nathaniel Levy says not being there. It's kind of a little bit funny.
A stupider version of subtlety.
Close talking.
Close talking is very creepy.
Yeah, it's very good. Oh no. Just in the middle of the party, like, so if we do this puzzle and then hey bud, what are you doing? What you doing?
Okay, yeah, we're just talking about the quest, if that's all right.
I think subtlety is the best match, but we are going to go with close talking.
Yeah, close talking is fantastic.
Excellent choice.
We're not trying to make a coherent character here. We're just
because it is that it's like leaning over the shoulder, like they're right there in the ear.
Yeah, honorable mention.
I mean, they are behind you.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. It's not. They don't come up and get in your face. They come like right over your shoulder and they're right in your ear, and you didn't know they were there.
Okay, up next for me to pick, we've got 4 left. So get your best ideas out because we're about to run out of them. I believe in, and then an ideal. What is an ideal that this character believes in? Could be justice, hope.
Is this for you, Wheels?
Tacos.
Yeah.
This is for me to pick. I believe in feeling their warm breath on my neck.
Soup, hot dogs,
Soup and
mostly
hot dogs.
foods.
A Thing Called Love from Age of B.
Lovely.
Remember, we've got no musical references in there yet, so...
I mean, it is a banger.
I believe in the concept of disbelief, says Truce. Just ice, says Rasmus.
I am going to go ahead and drop for y'all the link to the game we're playing, so that as you finish whatever your selection is, you can go ahead and see what it is. Not the people in the chat, but for y'all on the call. I'll drop that in.
Oh my gosh! I just saw the name.
That
might be very suitable.
I genuinely, I don't want to know until we finish. Like, I want to experience the surprise.
This is very good.
The flatness of the earth is quite good.
The shower curtains, I'm enjoying.
The unbeatable power of Yum Brands to take over the world.
It's true.
I believe in shower curtains.
I don't know, Wills. Just Ice was pretty good.
I do. Just Ice is great. Just Ice. Because it's justice as well. Okay. I'm going to make sure there's a big gap between those two words.
Yeah.
Just Ice.
And Tony, you got to make sure if you ever bring that up, you got to say it properly. Just Ice.
Yeah. We will bring them to Just down. Ice.
I believe in Just Ice.
To have with your lovely, refreshing beverage.
Presumably a frozen margarita, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, I just assumed that I thought everything was made out of ice.
Yeah.
Except the tides.
Up next, we've got, but my something side can get in my way. So this is a flaw that we're looking for Liv to pick from.
Yeah.
We're on the what's the one before penultimate? Tron Ultimate.
Oh yeah.
Tron Ultimate.
Tron Ultimate.
Tron. Yes.
On deck ultimate.
Under ultimate.
Wait, so what was it again? My something get in my way.
But my something side can get in my way.
My left hand side can get. It's very good.
Truce. Always walking in the circle.
Oh god, Truce has been knocking it out of the park. I'll be honest. Independently sentient left side as a co-option of that.
Building on it, yeah. Love that boat.
Penultimate is actually, it's really good. I mean, that's just a response to what we were talking about.
But my
werewolf side.
That's quite a bomb to drop right at the end. Oh, by the way, I'm a werewolf.
What if I'm a werehorse? Like I'm a normal person sometimes, but every once in a while.
Every once in a while, your top half turns into the rest of the horse.
Oh, okay.
Android.
Right. There are a bunch of good ones here. Okay. I do think I have to go with my left hand side gets in my way.
But my left hand, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like
or just my left hand, either way.
I feel like that's going to be a very interesting thing for Tony to conceptualize in this game.
Yeah.
Does it literally mean your left side always gets in the way of everything, or does it
like your left hand? It's just like stop.
You'll have to stay up until 2 a.m. Next Friday night, and go to youtube.com/+1exp to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I would like that very much. So
okay,
I'll be on that VOD if not.
Here we have the final thing we need to fill out. Which is good because we've been doing this podcast for a very long time. We've been having a very good time though, so that's all that matters. I dream of blank, and this is for Meehan to decide to bring it home. The most hopeful and what's the word I'm looking for?
Carry on. Attractive,
optimistic,
funny,
person on the team. Electric Sheep straight in there from Jaws.
Electric Sheep is a good one because we get that Kate Bush reference in there. For sure.
Smurfette.
Yeah.
Penguin.
I really like that. My right hand side is very good. Yeah. Apex Penguin just asked, "Who is Kate Bush?" I don't know whether that's a joke or whether they actually.
I think you're gonna have to get over the fact that she was like, she did start her career in like the 1980s. Eventually, people are not gonna know who Kate Bush is.
An icon. Wheels. People know who the Beatles are.
Well, yeah, that's the problem.
A dream of hay.
Yeah, I don't know. Smurfette was pretty good, but right hand side it feels more thematically appropriate.
But that's look, it's up to you, Meehan. It's not about which one fits best, which one you like the most.
Based on what you dream of. Do you dream of Smurfette? Like
lemon bars. It's just lemon bar.
That is very good. Lemon bars is very good. I do like that.
One of my kids made a mess of lemon bars this week and made one that was in like a small loaf pan like this big, and then I came into them just eating it and they were like, "Well, it's just one." No, it's not. It's like 10.
Lemon bar.
Wait, what is a lemon bar?
It's like, okay.
I was just being polite and being like, yeah, lemon bars, yeah.
Cultural barrier here, so I'm trying to think how far back I need to pull this. It's like a brownie,
right?
I'm in.
But it's somewhere between a brownie and like a pie. So there's a crust on the bottom, and then you put in a filling that's kind of gelatinous, and then you bake it, and it hardens into like a pastry that's got kind of a creamy, lemony top, and then a crust on the bottom.
Okay.
So
usually
hungry.
sprinkle powdered sugar on the top.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Oh,
it's like a tart.
I feel like there's probably, there we go. I was like, there's got to be a British term that is 100% just what this is.
Yeah,
and
a tart.
So like a lemon tart. Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Just a lemon tart. Okay, I understand that. Yeah, I'll go with lemon.
But you cut them into bars instead of serving them in wedges, and they're in the different
right.
slice,
Well.
right? So.
Come on, Mean, you've had a lot of time to stew on
Yeah,
this.
I'll take lemon bars.
I'll take lemon bars for $100, please.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Apex Penguin does say Meehan dreams of a world with a DuckTales RPG DM'd by Brendan Fraser. Yeah, I'd love that.
Oh my god, that is quite a dream, though.
That's pretty good.
Have any of you all seen Duckborg? It is
Yes.
a DuckTales Morkborg supplement.
Yes.
What?
Oh, we have a news article about it, Meehan.
Yeah, y'all do. I'm
I
pretty sure.
didn't
So
write it.
No, you
you gotta
don't.
read everything. It is by Gym Room Games.
It's a supplement for Morkborg, the heavy metal
Yeah.
Doom RPG, but themed around DuckTales. Like that's genuinely all the information you need. Like
It's gorgeous, and there's actually the second one just dropped also.
Shall we go over this character?
Let's do this.
This thing
We
we
also
created.
need
for
Well,
a
Tony.
name.
first, last but not least, Tony, I'm going to ask you to name this character.
Yeah, this is all you. This
Mm.
is all yours.
We will allow you this much.
Read me the character. Read me the character.
Hello, my name is blank, pronouns blank. I'm pi years old. I stand 3 hands tall. I'm the party's taco stand. When people see me, they first notice my 4 locks, face tattoos of butterflies, and 11 herbs and spices. I wear jorts, regret, and move with the tides. I'm from behind you, where my people are known for close talking. I believe in just ice, but my left-hand side can get in my way. I dream of lemon bars. Apex
hero.
Penguin suggests that your name is unpronounceable with your biology.
Probably, I think I probably have a horse / centaur name that is not speakable by most. However, let's just go with Chadwith the Third.
Nice. Oh my god, the legacy. Love that.
Pronouns?
They them.
They them.
Heck yeah.
The legacy of.
The Chadwith legacy
Yeah.
runs strong.
Is that like a corporate legacy, like with the tacos thing?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
The Chadwith tacos. You know,
Incorporated.
traditional
Yeah,
taco
yeah.
name. Okay, so do you want to know what game I'm playing now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it. I'm
So
very
I
excited.
don't know if I can say the name on stream.
Oh.
Oh,
I'll drop
good
a link.
name.
Can
It's a
you
swear.
bleep it?
It is gun bleeps.
Oh,
I'm
it's
playing-
Adira Slattery's gun bleeps.
Dearest Ladder is gun
Fs.
bleep is
Gun
what I'm
Fs.
playing. I'll drop the link because we are definitely bleeping something out.
This absolutely sounds like the kind of character. that
So
would fit.
if you're not familiar with gun bleeps, I talked about Nova. Gun bleeps is another Lumen game. So Lumen games are again designed to be like looter shooters. A lot of them will pick up a specific touchstone of the type of looter shooter video game they're trying to emulate. This one is a Bordersland or Bulletstorm type emulator. So we are running around on the planet Damon. We are newcomers who just landed. Anytime we die, a clone of us pops up. So there may be a Chad with the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th
Wow.
year. And we're gonna be playing that next. I mean, thematically, I see no reason why I cannot play this character there. But yeah, I've just dropped down on the planet Damon with
or in
other
any
folks.
system, you know.
Yeah, and so I don't know how Taco Stand will manifest, but knowing the crew we're playing with, because we always play with the designer GMing whenever possible. But I know we've got a great crew who's going to be playing that one, so I'm sure they'll be 100% down for some fun shenanigans. And absolutely,
yeah.
my
To be
Jort
honest,
fueled team will show up.
I genuinely can't think of like a game that you're trying to emulate that fits this better. Because Borderlands is all about that lol so random humor. So like this is genuinely this is the exact fit.
I wasn't worried about that.
Yeah. Tony, you've just got to work out how your horse-based character is going to wield the gun. Unless we've decided it's a centaur.
Yeah, it's a centaur, right? It
So
makes-
the option is either centaur or just like gun harness.
Uh-huh.
Gun harness feels really
Ooh.
strong.
Back
I
mounted.
feel, I feel in my mind, it's Chadwith, isn't it?
Yes.
Chadwith.
I'm imagining that they are a horse. They're like a full-on a little horse, and they have.
Oh yeah,
like
you're also minuscule.
Yeah, you're a very small horse.
We
with
may flex hands a little bit.
Yeah.
We may not they'll still be hands, but it may be like
Big hands.
maybe like alien hands, right?
Yeah,
So
look,
maybe
you don't know
maybe
what
closer to
species those
extinct
hands belong to, you know?
Yeah,
But we'll definitely be a diminutive Shetland-ish pony of some sort.
Apex Penguin says it is a gun that is also a muzzle or
ball gag.
You operate it with your gut, with your mouth. I'm imagining you have one of those feed bags, you know, like a horse.
Yeah, I think and that's where the
Or
tacos
bridle.
are. I think it's probably like some sort of just telekinetic trigger where I can just like shoot.
Nice.
And they're just pointed. They're pointed, on like they're like mounted guns that I can,
like a turret. You're like a walking turret.
With this feed bag, I'm gonna be feeding you some lead.
Wow.
But Gun Bleeps it looks super fun. It's one of the ones we've been the most excited about coming out. There's a thing right now happening called the Lux Collective, which is a bunch of people who are creating games in the Lumen system. They're all going up on itch. There's a ton of ash cans out there right now, as well as a few completed games, but just some phenomenal designers. But if you search like Lumen, Lux Collective, other stuff like that online, actually I think if you go to luxcollective.ard.com, you can find them all. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll go find it real quick. Drop it in the chat.
All right.
Fabulous.
Well, we are rapidly approaching 2 hours on this podcast.
Yeah.
But
I'll normally talk about childhood nightmare fuel for an extended period of time.
The problem is Matt Jarvis, who is essentially our dad, isn't here, so like it's off the rails.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've had a fantastic time as well, which I think has spoken a lot to what we've done on the stream. We normally finish this up with some emails and questions from the chat. We are going to condense this heavily into. We are going to answer one email, or it seems like a Twitter question, actually.
I might suggest we just skip it entirely because we've gone an hour and 45 minutes, and the chat has had plenty of interaction with our.
That's very true. That is very true.
Be grateful, you urchin.
Please, chat can have some interaction as a treat.
Yeah.
Normally, every week we will answer questions, so you can reach us on podcast@dicebreaker.com or via the live chat when we stream at 2 p.m. UK time every Friday. Sorry, Tony, what were you about to say?
Victor brings up an important point about Borderlands. Borderlands 2 does have a character horse called Butt Stallion.
Of course it does.
We'll use that piece of information as a replacement for the questions.
Exactly.
Yeah,
All right, then. Thank you very much, everyone who has watched this bumper episode of the Dicebreaker podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure to have Tony Vasinda in from Plus One EXP. Tony, please plug yourself and tell everyone where they can find more of you.
Yeah, Plus One EXP is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare, alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love, and help amazing designers find great players who love their games. We do that through a mix of actual plays, interviews, reviews, previews of a ton of different games that are out there. We primarily focus on indie and OSR games. We are always happy to work with any creator. We don't believe that creators should have to pay for content, that they should be able to access good promotion absolutely free. So we always invite people to support us. You can check out all that at plus1exp.com or youtube.com/plus1exp. Our reviews are all really short. So if you're looking to check out a system in 8 minutes or less, our reviews will break down theme, the basics of character creation, and the action economy for you in less than 8 minutes to give you enough information to decide if you want to go deeper into that system. So you don't have to watch a 20-minute video. You don't have to watch a 2-hour actual play, that we have those. You can just watch a short video that helps you understand if this is a system you're interested in. We also host a lot of community conversations. So we did one on itch funding recently, which is crowdfunding. And we host some community events called Fest. We did our first one with Troika a little while ago. We have a couple coming up that are in the works that I love to talk about, but they're decentralized, community owned. Hey, during this week, we're going to create some content around and partner with a publisher to give away a ton of free stuff and play a game that we love. So we did that with Troika because I had never played it. And I was like, if I'm going to play it, everyone's going to play it. We've got 2 more coming up later this year that I'm very excited about, but we don't have all the details for yet. And then if you want to check out Brave Little Toaster Inspired RPG, keep an eye on our social media at +1exp or Exalted Funeral, who's going to be putting that out. So yeah,
very exciting. It's very exciting.
I will be getting that RPG.
Thank you very much for joining us. As I said, it's been lovely having you, but also a big thank you to Alex Meehan,
Thank you. It's really good to sort of unload all those childhood traumas. So.
Yeah, no, I think this was healing. And to
yeah.
Liv Kennedy.
Thanks so much. What a blast.
But yeah, if you want to see more of us, then head on over to dicebreaker.com where you can see some of the fantastic articles that we spoke about earlier. Here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/dicebreaker. We've just done 2 whopping streams of playing against us with the community, but we've also got, coming up tomorrow, the first episode of Meehan running the Low Stakes RPG, a game that is heavily inspired by what we do in the shadows. It's going to be very, very fun, very, very good. We've also got Downforce Let's Play that was edited, the first video edited by Liv, our new video producer. Whoa, very exciting. So
if you hear any problems, don't worry about it.
So keep an eye out for that as well. And then last, I'll just plug 9 p.m. UK time on Monday. Myself and Matt Jarvis are reading out a slime-themed choose-your-own-adventure book with some anime voice actors, predominantly one from the TV show I Was Turned Into a Level 1 Slime or whatever it is. I don't know. It's very Matt Jarvis territory, but I'm just going to be there. I'm going to hope that it all goes fine, and it's probably going to be a wild and wacky time. So please join us for that. And yes, it's all going to be fantastic. Thank you very much for watching this Dicebreaker podcast or listening if you're listening to it in post. Remember, we stream this live at 2 p.m. UK time every Friday. So come and join us if you want to be involved in the next horrible catastrophe that we put upon our guests. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you on the next one. And until then, have a lovely day. Goodbye.
Bye.